through a lot as a child. I was abused very terribly. And it just, God put it on my heart to write this book.
I'm Rachel Stewart Johnson, the author of Shackled That Had Me Bound, owner of Beautiful Boss LLC, an advocate for abuse victims. At Beautiful Boss is where we take beauty personally, where we empower people and encourage them to be the beautiful boss they were created to be. Join the conversation with me every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Fire 716 Radio. For abuse victims. At Beautiful Boss is where we take beauty personally, where we empower people and encourage them to be the beautiful boss they were created to be. Join the conversation with me every Thursday at 1 p.m. on Fire 716 Radio.
I will do a new thing in you. I will do a new thing in you. Whatever you ask for, whatever you pray for, shall not be denied, said the Lord, said the Lord. I will do a new thing in you. I will do a new thing in you. Whatever you ask for, whatever you pray for, shall not be denied, said the Lord, said the Lord, said the Lord. Hello, everybody. I'm Beautiful Boss. Share this live. Share this live. I'm here to advocate for abuse victims to prevent abuse, mainly child abuse. Also, if you guys want to purchase some high quality beauty products, you could purchase that on beautifulbossrnc.com. If you're interested in buying some healing oil, pain oils, unisex body oils, you can purchase that on beautifulbossr.com, or you can go to Walmart and purchase that as well. And you'll get it immediately. You don't have to wait too long. The longest 4 days, but you get your products right away. So if you guys are interested in promoting your business or podcast, hit 716 Fire Radio up, and they can assist you with that as well. So here, the topic I want to talk about today is, I'm trying to switch it up. It's, every now and then I might want to talk about child abuse, but not all the time. Like I share with you guys, if you've been following my podcasts, is I've been all over this world quite a bit. I've been to Africa, Paris, a lot of different locations. And I don't just, I do advocate for the 716 area, but I advocate my I advocate global. Like I help everybody far as like when it comes to jump starting their business, and also preventing child abuse. So and any type of abuse. So it's not just the 716 area. It's for everyone. So don't be afraid to hit me up if you need help addressing that topic. If you're from Africa, because I have a lot of friends there. From Paris, I have friends everywhere. My friends are everywhere. So it's not just here in the 716 area. So if you need help with, even if you need a free book, don't be afraid. to hit me up. I'll get this book to you. If you don't have money for a healing oil or a pain oil, hit me up. I'm a kind person. And beautiful boss rnc at gmail.com. If you are experiencing type of pain or headache or anything, just hit me up and I'll be happy to help you with that. But what I want to talk about today is some things that's been going on in Niagara Falls, New York, which really troubled my heart. Um, Literally the other day when I was invited to a Father's Day picnic, um, I was invited uh by my brother to a Father's Day picnic, and I literally rode by the place where someone took their life. And it was like God bringing me to this place. The main thing I'm advocating for, because I don't want people to commit suicide. Because I tell you guys all the time, the reason why I'm on this podcast to prevent child abuse. Because I don't want to see anyone take their life because they're experiencing so much trauma, or we don't know what people are going through that will put them over the edge to take their life. And sadly, guys, it's not just in adults; it's in children too that have suicidal thoughts. But I rode by the place where the person took their life in Niagara Falls on Military Road. And it was like God telling me, like, I was becoming discouraged because I'm like, am I helping people? Who am I helping with this? Because it's like, even though you're not hearing about it, it does happen. People do take their lives every day. It just and people are, being abused, whether it be mentally, physically. Children are dying from child abuse just because you're not hearing about it, and it is a strong need. So if you guys want to join me in my fight with advocating for abuse, or preventing it, please, I need as much help as I can. If it means calling into this podcast, if it means joining my live and we can get a conversation going on some experience that you might experience, or someone that's experiencing it, that would be great as well. Because when I hear stuff like that, people taking their lives, that's just sad, because once you do that, there's no turning back. When you take your life at your own hands, there's no turning back. So but it's sadly some people are pushed to that point when um they're experiencing so much in life, they feel like they just can't come out of that darkness without taking their life. So um it's sad. But I'm here to say beautiful boss is here to help. So if you know other people that's on my team that can help you too. So I'm not in it by myself. I'm not in this alone. So if you do need help, if you think you're having suicidal thoughts, if you know someone that help surviving abuse, surviving losing a loved one, um, I'm your person to go to because I've survived all that and more. So and I have other people on my team that can assist you and direct you in the right path, where you need to go to get assistance so you can cope, because it's definitely not easy. Um, I tell you guys all the time, I'm not going to sugarcoat. You need to put on the whole armor of God, when you're going through stuff like this. And I would appreciate you if you guys share my live as much as you can, so this can be a help to whoever this needs to be a help to. And it's definitely not easy when you experience such traumatic things in life, and you definitely need to put on the whole armor of God. And I told you guys, it's fasting, praying, and reading your Bible. And you need to get a strong uh someone that's gonna pray with you, a pastor. Yeah, someone's gonna pray with you and hold you down, because I'm telling you, if it wasn't for the strong my father, which was a pastor, I mean, you never know, because it takes a lot to get through something like this. As you know, I wrote this book, Shackle That Had Me Bound. It discusses the tragic death of my deceased husband, who passed away from a tragic accident in 2011, which left me with a son who's now 13. At the time, my son was 18 months, but he passed away. I don't feel like I got justice. I know, in each, I talk about it in the book. I don't feel like I got justice from what happened to my husband. I don't feel like I ever got justice from what happened to my me as a small child. But sooner or later, I know God. I know who's to say what's going to happen, but he's gonna vindicate, and sooner or later it's going to be served. But what definitely happened to me and my son is wrong. It shouldn't have happened, and I have to raise him now as a 13-year old boy. And even now, it really makes it pisses. I'm gonna just keep it pisses me off because I ride through the city of Niagara Falls and I still see holes all over the city of Niagara Falls, the same potholes that my husband died from, my son's father passed away from, are still being left throughout the city of Niagara Falls. Even though the city of Niagara Falls was sued for that, you still can walk throughout the city of Niagara Falls and see where there are holes throughout this city where someone can be riding their bike. Someone may not be able to see. You can't assume that everybody has 20/20 vision. You can't assume that everybody knows that it's poor conditions or the roads are not, like, there's holes throughout Ferry, 6th and Ferry, or over here somewhere. You can't assume that. We need to alert the people because coming up July 8th, my husband has been gone for majority of my son's life. My son, he passed away when my son was 18 months old, and my son is now 13. And it just makes me very sad because it depresses your mind, and it depresses the my son's mind to see when he rides down these streets the same thing that took. It's like a smack in your face. It's like someone laughing and taunting you in your face. You know what I'm saying? Because of that, I had to go without my husband because of the negligence of the city, and I have to go without my son has to go without his father. He didn't have his father there for him to shoot the football with him. He didn't have his father there to go to take your kid to school day. His father wanted to be there, but because of the negligence of the city, he's not there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people say, "Oh, why is she's talking about that again?" I'm going to talk about it because it hurts, and my child should have his father here. But it's the same. It'd be different if they try to make a change and fix it, but it's nothing being fixed. It's still holes throughout the city, and someone could be riding their bike or driving their car and ride their car or their bicycle into the hole, and their loved one can perish, or worse, they could be hanging on for dear life, and they might have to suffer through it. As far as, like, they might not pass away from the accident. So people don't think about these things, and then it affects the family, and the worst, the child that is left behind, the 13-year-old boy. Now he's at school, people taunt him about not having his father there, you know and now he can't get through school because he's thinking about how this happened to my father, and now he's got all these thoughts going through his head, and why did this happen to my father? I'm a 13-year-old boy. I see him with his father. I see him with his father. Because of the fault of the city of Niagara Falls, I don't have my father. So now I'm forced to pull him out of school and homeschool him just so he can make it in life, because I don't want him engaging in drugs and alcohol or being peer pressure to do certain things and settling, because his future is still bright no matter what happened in the past. His future will be bright and is bright. So I want to make sure that he knows that I love him, regardless of whatever happened to his daddy loved him too. But and God loves him. And it's just messed up that when I go throughout this city of Niagara Falls, I see so many uncovered holes. It's like terrible. And we around, and it pisses me off. I can't, like, people over there doing Juneteenth and stuff. Like, that's amazing that y'all doing that. But I can't go around them areas because that 2 blocks down from there is where my husband got killed. So I don't want to be around where bad things happen to my husband or my deceased. You probably like, why come beautiful boss didn't come out for Juneteenth? That's probably what you asked it, because that's why. 2 blocks from there, that's where my husband got killed on his bike, snaps his neck and died. And then, like I tell y'all before in my other podcasts, I'm the one got to deal with going in there identifying my husband. you know, and with his head open, bust open like a watermelon, and bashed open like a watermelon. His eyes sunk in his head like some horror picture, Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm the one got to deal with all that, you know. So it's not fair to me and my son. So no, I'm not gonna come out for Juneteenth because, like I said, 2 blocks from where that happened at, my husband died. So I really have to pull myself away from certain things because it brings back terrible memories for me. So I will go about promoting my product the best way I can without having to trigger any type of um, terrible memories for myself and my son. Because it's still, even though you say, "Oh, that's the past," it's not the past. It's very present for me because my husband's still deceased, and my son father is not longer here, and I have to raise him to be a man. Remember that I'm not a man, but I have to raise him to be a man. I have to raise him to be a man. And every day that goes by, he's asking about his dad. Oh, dad, what this about my dad? What's that about my dad? You know what I'm saying? Why did this happen? You know, why are they taunting it? Why is this hole? Look at mom, another hole's left uncovered. Look at that, mom, another hole's left uncovered. And it seemed like nothing ain't being done about it. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing being done about it. It's just being taken as a joke. And and God has sent so many powerful men to this city. Like, it's so many powerful men of God has been sent to this city. Um, it's like you like you're a man of God. Frank is a man of God. Bishop Joey Brinson, he's the one put my husband away. He said words over my husband. He was related to my husband. Um, he put my husband away. Pastor Joey Brinson. My father, Bishop John D. Stewart, prophets were sent to this city to save Niagara Falls. It's a dark cloud over Niagara Falls as we speak. There's so many bad things that happen in Niagara Falls. And why is that? People dying, people committing suicide, all these terrible things going on. It's some good, but does the good outweigh the bad? Does the good outweigh the bad? Seriously. Because I'm like, Joey, Pastor Joey, he's the one said words over Kevin when he passed away. He was there. Yep. And my father was able to be there at the time because he passed away. Not my father, but he was able to be there at the time because he was in the hospital. But all I'm saying is, it's some real great man that came through this city, and it's like God trying to send a warning before some destruction happened. You know, He's sending warnings here to Niagara Falls for something terrible happen. It's some terrible things that's already happened, but I just feel like people should take it as warning when certain things start when you hear things happening repeatedly, people committing suicide, people all these killings and accidents. Like, Niagara Falls needs to take it as a warning and not disregard it, because it's some powerful men, and I could speak that came through Niagara Falls. And my father did not want to be buried here because so much negativity from Niagara Falls. Even though God sent him here. My father's from Tennessee. He's from Tennessee. My father is, and even though God sent him here for his assignment, he stayed here from 1970 all the way up until he died. But my father his last wish was not to bury him here in Niagara Falls. He did not want to be buried in Niagara Falls, New York, because all the negativity and all the negativity that's here in this city. You know what I'm saying? He did not want to be buried. His final wish was to be buried on a hill next to his mother in Tennessee. And that's where that's where he lies. He's a prophet. He was a prophet. And anything he tell you, it's gonna come to pass. You can mark your word for it. And it's like so many bad things are happening, and I feel like a lot of things are stemming from what happened to. It's messing with God's people, God anointing, God chosen people. So it's like, don't keep leaving them holes uncovered. Don't keep If you know you have the power to get the funds to cover them holes throughout the city, go ahead and do that, because you're affecting a 13-year-old little boy that doesn't have his father right now. He has missed school. He has been homeschooled for almost 2 months now because he can't take the fact that his father passed away for something so tragic. He doesn't have his father. You know what I'm saying? And every time he goes down ferry, he sees all these open holes the same thing that's on his father's death certificate saying that he passed away from is being left open on 6th and Ferry. And no one's doing nothing about it. We talking about everything else. We talking about gay pride. Not trying to bash nobody. We talking about Juneteenth. But what are we talking? Why aren't we talking about things that have killed people in the past? Why aren't we talking about that? Because it's still going on. It's still present. Oh, that's the past. No, it ain't the past. It's the present. Because if someone gets hurt really bad, that's going to be another lawsuit. That's going to be another lawsuit. And there's lawyers listening in right now. I bet you. Oh, they still didn't fix that problem. We get on them 10 years ago about that. They still got holes uncovered here in Niagara Falls. Or maybe we need to open it back up. Cause we got little John Paul over here without his father, and he missed in 2 months of school. And he can't function now because he don't have his daddy there. His daddy not really he can't really, I can't. I miss my dad, and every time I go outside, I see an open hole in the street, and I might. What if I ride my bike into that hole and bust my head open? What if I'm riding my scooter down the street? What if I'm riding my skateboard down the street and bust my head open? What if someone else does it? No one care. Everybody just walking by. Oh well, it's just that was her. That's her problem. It could be anybody. People pass my Chris Scott. I knew him. I grew up with him. I grew up with him. And I don't know the details into his accident, but I remember him as a 12-year-old little girl hanging out with him. He was a really cool guy. And I want to say rest peacefully because that's sad, that he passed away like that. And when I saw his accident, that brought me back to what happened to my deceased husband, Kevin. And when I'm riding down not too far from where he had the accident at, a big old pothole in the road. A big old pothole in the road. You know what I'm saying? And people don't realize that little things like that cause big accidents. Little things like that cause big accidents. So Niagara Falls need to step their game up and do something about all these open holes in Niagara Falls that's being left open. Go throughout the city, have someone, whoever's that job, whoever's supposed to do that job, have them walk throughout the city of Niagara Falls or get in their car and go through the city of Niagara Falls and make sure nothing is gonna be a harm to someone and take their life. Because you don't think it's important, it's very important because it's affecting a child. And God do not play about his children. He do not play about, and John Paul do deserve his father. He do deserve to have his father here with him. He deserves that. And I feel terrible for him because I know what it's like to have a father there in your life. I never been without my father until he passed away. So I could say it benefit me greatly to have my father in my life. So for him, so if y'all see my son John Paul Johnson throughout the city of Niagara Falls, which I don't let him go too far, because I don't let my children wander like that. I keep them close. Y'all support him and try to be a father figure towards him and give him some good advice because his father is deceased because of the fault of the city. And he can't understand for the life of him how the hell this happened. Excuse my language. How the hell did this happen? Because I've walked down the streets of Africa and they're more safe than Niagara Falls. Like I've done walked down the streets in Africa multiple times and there are more safe than Niagara Falls. And Africa is supposed to be a poor country with barely nothing. And their streets are more safer than Niagara Falls. When you walk down the streets of Africa, you don't see all them potholes in the street and stuff. You don't see all that stuff down the street when you go to Africa. All that stuff that can be a hindrance to a human life. You don't. Their streets look better than the streets in Niagara Falls, and that's sad because they barely have nothing. You know what I'm saying? They majority of people that live in Africa they are just getting by. So yeah, I had to talk about that because it's really I see how he keeps a smile on his face. He's excited about doing football. with Niagara Falls Junior football. He's excited about doing that. That's what keeps him going, because he's been MVP a few times. They most valuable player. He loves doing football, and that's what keeps him motivated. Because his father was really into football like that, you know. So it's like, yeah, that's what keeps him motivated, and the strong man in his life, they keep him motivated too. His coaches and my brother, So y'all, if y'all see Ja Paul, show him love, because that's the older he get, it's gonna be more questions that go through this little boy mind. Why does it happen to my father? And it is not making it no better with all them hoes all around the city like that. It's not. So I'm winding up the podcast, and you guys share this podcast, because you never know, this might help someone. This might put this in the ear of someone that can help Niagara Falls fund getting them holes covered or something, because I would hate for anything that bad to happen in this city. God is urging me to say something about this topic to anyone, because all lives are valuable. So this is Shackle That Had Me Bound. You guys can purchase this on Amazon, and if you want to purchase high quality beauty products, you can do that too. And I'm gonna sing. Sooner or later, you'll turn in your favor. It's turning around for me. Be empowered, be confident, and be a beautiful boss. And you guys join me next week at 716 Fire Radio for a Beautiful Boss podcast. Thank you.
Beautiful Boss LLC, where we empower people and encourage them to be the beautiful boss they were created to be.
I advocate for abuse victims, mainly abused children. You don't abuse your children. Like, for example, made to go to bed without food to eat, being sexually abused and raped, that's abuse. Yes, there's so many of them. That's amazing why I wrote this book, guys, because I went through a lot as a child. I was abused very terribly, and it just, God put it on my heart to write this book to advocate for abuse victims.